Well, see, my folks had that house on Benton Way
Oh, they did.
down the street here. It's a two-story house. They couldn't even live in it
Oh,
because
that
it was
was
during
the
the war.
that was the house that they built.
Yes,
I
and this
see.
was an empty lot, so I decided to build a house here.
I see.
So,
Do you remember their address on Benton Way?
1537.
Oh,
just
so
down
they're
the street,
just
three,
down-
4 doors down.
I
It's
see.
this two-story house,
Mhm,
and they
mhm.
couldn't even live in it because the war just started. I mean, people around who didn't want any Orientals around. So in the meantime, they built the house anyway. But the neighbors were very kind, and they accepted us.
Are any of those neighbors, still around?
Yes,
Do you think?
a lot of them.
Mhm. Do you remember-
In fact, they were patient. They were
Patients of yours.
patients of mine.
Right.
In fact, most of the area were patients of mine. I had a big practice, and I think I delivered more babies than any obstetrician in Los Angeles at that time.
So, did you actually specialize then in
No, but,
OB/GYN? You ended up
being
doing
a
that.
woman, I mean, I had more patients that were women,
I see.
yeah, that were pregnant.
And did you do home births, or did you have hospital privileges, or?
Oh yes, I was going to at that time Queen of Angels Hospital.
Oh, Queen of Angels. I see.
I think I was one of 2 or 3 women that were practicing
I
there.
see. Mhm.
I think my father was here in 18 something. I have it somewhere, and my mother came later.
I see.
And she was a picture bride.
Oh, she was.
And my mother was the one of 2, I think, but the only child left. I think her father was used to make kimonos. And my brother went for, I think, about a year or 6 months. He went to UCLA and quit. But my sisters didn't go.
But
They
did they
finished high
live?
school though.
Did they eventually come back and live after the war here in
yes,
Silver Lake?
The whole family were here. I was the only one that was in Chicago.
Did your father work in the neighborhood?
No, he went in with a group of men and had a hog ranch
Oh,
in
he
Long
did?
Beach.
Oh,
So that's all.
so he would travel from here to
he
Long
would,
Beach.
He would commute. But my mother had a grocery store
She did.
in South Los Angeles.
How did they feel, or how did you all feel, really, coming back after the war? And
Well, we had a home to come home to, so.
you felt grateful
Yeah,
for
and
that.
diff-
Are you actually bilingual?
Well, yeah, I had to be. Of course, I had to learn from patients, so I made a lot of mistakes, but they didn't criticize me, so I learned as I went along.
Learned their language, or you mean learned English
Yeah, in
or
Japanese.
Japanese?
I learned that, but I made a lot of mistakes, but no one ever
Corrected.
criticized me.
And she wanted you all,
We spoke English anyway because we didn't know any
I
Japanese.
see.
So all of us spoke English.
How did your parents feel about you being a doctor? I mean, were they
Well,
very proud? And
well, they never said anything.
They never said anything.
Glad that they always said to do what you like, you know.
I'm Don Jones.
You were Don Jarvis. How long have you lived in Silver Lake?
Well, let's see, since 1924. Yeah,
So now, how old were you when you moved here then?
11 years. Well, my father was born in England.
And your father, what brought him to America at the age of 19?
Well, his folks came here.
Mhm.
They were proselytized by the Mormon Church. And my father finished an apprenticeship in 1904 and went to Liverpool and worked for a year and then decided to come here. They all went straight to Utah. My grandmother was pretty ardent Mormon, yes.
And you were raised as a Mormon too, right?
No, I never took. My father bought a piece of property and put up a shop and a little place where he sold paints, wallpapers, and glass for windows.
Uh-huh. Where was the shop?
Down here on North Hoover. There used to be a stream that came down there. You know where Virgil is?
Sure.
The stream entered about Virgil and Sunset and came down through this studio property. And we used to go